Hello, and welcome to the Insider exclusive interview with Onus co-founders Kristy and Chaz. Onus is the first longevity franchise of its kind in the nation, and we're here today to dive deeper into their story. Hello, Kristy and Chaz. How are you doing?
Hi.
Doing well. Thank you for having
Doing
us.
well.
Excited to be
Yeah,
here.
thanks for having us.
Excited to have you. Oh man. So, to kick everything off, I'd love to hear more about your backgrounds, why you started Onus, really your origin story into this amazing brand that you've built.
Kristy, would you like
So,
to start?
yeah, I'll
In your
start.
idea when we first talked about it.
It was so my background is business and medical. I started a mountain bike company many years ago. I was a co-founder in that. So I've always been entrepreneurial, and medical sales, pharmaceutical sales is also in my background. And I was a biology major. So I've always taken an interest in wellness, science, health, and exercise. And I first heard about this concept in 2014 through a friend in medical device sales who was starting an IV bus out in San Diego. And I just thought, wow, what a great concept for Denver. I think proactive wellness is something that's so important for each of us to consider, and it's becoming more and more popular as the years have gone on. And IV therapy was really just the start of that. Obviously, we've branched out into other modalities now, but that was the start of where I thought about proactive wellness and how Colorado specifically was the perfect market to approach this in, because people are wellness minded, they're athletic, they like to have a good time, but also, kind of play hard, work hard. And so being at your top performance is really key.
Oh, definitely. And Chaz, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I come at this from the marketing perspective. My background has been in branding and strategy. And when I looked at this industry, I just saw just like a lot of either pseudo spa kind of brands or mostly doctor centric brands. And I didn't really see anything that really fit a brand anyone could get involved with it. So in that regard, that was my interest initially. Obviously, once we got in and we started rolling with, you know, these different ER nurses and ER doctors and nurse practitioners, I started to see a bit more of their lens and how they pretty much selflessly help people at all times feel their best. So for me, that's been probably the coolest part of the journey.
Very cool. And I know you guys were, the first to bring IV therapy to the Front Range back
Mhm.
in, founded 2014, opened the doors of your first store, Lohi, in 2015. Can you tell me a bit more about what that journey looked like, being the first to bring IV therapy into the Front Range?
It was very educational at the time. People had heard about it outside of Las Vegas for hangovers. They didn't think about it from the proactive mindset yet, where, like, keep yourself at your healthiest instead of waiting until you're sick or run down and need to recover. So there was a lot of word of mouth marketing. We were at 5Ks to marathons to yoga festivals. And so it was very much, getting the word out there about this proactive modality. And we didn't have much money to really create it. So we had to partner in the beginning. We were fortunate enough to meet Denver Sports Recovery, and they were awesome. Our first brick and mortar was actually within their facility. That really helped us tap into the athlete community, professional and amateur. And then from there, it just was a groundswell, and it built up the awareness. We were able to build stores number 2 and 3 in 2017. And eventually we moved that original store out of Denver Sports Recovery, even though we're still good friends with them, but we needed a bigger footprint in the Lohi neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and starting out with IV therapy and now, as we say it, over a decade of trailblazing wellness. So you guys started out in that, you were pioneers in that area. Now you've, built over time this longevity model and offering services that, complement IV therapy and at the same time go beyond it. So how do you focus on health and longevity with the services that you have, like hormone replacement therapy, NAD plus treatments. I know you guys just added the take-home tests as well for NAD, and of course, in-location lab testing.
So it's really about customizing it to the individual. It's
Mm-hmm.
about finding out what is our person's needs, what are their symptoms, how are they feeling? And the body is all connected, right? So your vitamin levels, your hormone levels, all these things come into play together. So for example, in hormone health, in order for you to get the optimal benefit from hormone replacement, you also need to have optimized vitamin B levels and vitamin D3 levels. So there's really it's important to look at the whole person. And that's what we are able to do by offering these different supplements and electrolytes and the hormone therapy, NAD treatments, as you say, really just treating the whole individual and coming at it from multiple angles so that they can be their very best self.
We actually had a client the other day say, I appreciate being seen as a person, not a protocol. So in that regard, yeah, that personal approach is really what's going to separate us. IV therapy is the perfect foundation to build this brand from because, like Kristy said, we can not only address, your baseline vitamin deficiencies, but it's the perfect platform to move forward with the next step in your health journey.
Yeah, and I know you guys have seen some great results on the hormone therapy end too, and with the in-location lab testing that you do. So can you go also into a bit more detail about that? Because not a lot of people are doing that right now, especially in combination with IV therapy and supplements the way that you guys are. So what kind of feedback and really what results have you guys seen from adding BHRT to your services?
It's been an amazing response. I have to say it's been one of the best launches of a service that we've ever had. And I think it just ties into the fact that so many people in the middle of their life, they don't understand why am I gaining weight all of a sudden? Why do I have sleep disturbance issues? Why am I anxious? I have the same level of stress, the same inputs, outputs all day long, but all of a sudden I'm barely able to manage it. And traditional Western medicine does not tap into like the hormonal changes at that point in life. You're more likely to just treat the symptom, whether it's anti-anxiety medications or sleep medications, but not really diving deep into the root cause. And so I think one of the things that's really exciting is that so many more people are aware now that their hormones can be optimized, that you can feel better, you can feel like yourself again by replacing those hormones. And BHRT, which is what we offer, is the most natural bioidentical form of hormone replacement therapy. So it actually mimics and looks exactly like the body's own hormones. So it really has the most efficacy. It's been a tremendous response. The clients that we've had that have gone on hormone therapy have really impressed upon us how much of a difference it's made in their lives. And it's just wonderful to hear. Those are the stories we love.
Incredible.
I'm actually a BHRT patient myself. In exploring this service, I found out at the age of 37, I had the testosterone of an 80-year-old man. So it does really feel like you can get back a bit of yourself and do it in a way that, doesn't really compromise your quality of life. So yeah, it's been cool.
Oh, that's incredible. No, hearing those stories and connecting with your community in that way and actually helping your community be healthier, that has to be like, I don't know, just sounds like the most rewarding part for sure.
It's why we do what we do. We want to hear people come back in and say what a difference it made. And of course, it's always going to vary individual responses, but it is what we live for sure.
I love it. And, as you guys have, just announced franchising with FranSmart, which is super exciting. You guys are well underway on that journey. And, as we mentioned, making communities healthier and looking for franchisees who share that same passion. Can you tell me a bit more about what you all look for in your ideal franchisee?
So the ideal partner is someone who's going to share our values and they're going to believe in proactive wellness themselves, something that they practice, something that they aspire to. Longevity matters to them. It's something that it's an individualistic belief. So somebody that wants to bring that community and also believes in supporting their community. That's part of the beauty, I think, of franchising is that we can only be so many places. We can only authentically connect to a community, here in the Denver metro area. But getting farther afield, it's not, we can't really be there to, be a part of the local school fundraiser or go to that local 5K or yoga festival. So we want to find people, like-minded franchisees in those communities that want to do those things, that want to spread the gospel of longevity and wellness within their own community.
Mhm. Yep, really well said. Be the cornerstone of health in your community.
No, definitely. And I have to ask as well. So you guys don't look like your typical longevity franchise, right? I think Chaz touched on this earlier where, you're not following the medical or clinical aesthetic that is so often seen. You're also not following kind of that spa relaxation aesthetic that, we see often within the space. Instead, you walk in, it's, natural wood tones, bright light, black and green. Yep, nature photography, TV screens with, whether it's documentaries or shows, different scenes. Can you tell me a bit more about your branding, why you chose it, and how it's helped your business grow?
Oh yeah. Obviously we live in Colorado, and Colorado itself brand of being outdoorsy and having a second childhood in a playground you get to play in. So when it comes to the branding aspects, a lot of these colors are derived from things we'll see in nature. We get green from healthy plants. That's a sign that things are going well. We chose gray as our dominant tone because unlike white, which you see in a lot of medical offices, which induces a little bit of white coat syndrome, gray is relaxing. Everyone can get involved with it. It's a very approachable tone. Otherwise, when it comes to why we choose to be a little more athletic centered, it's just the human potential. I think if people can for a minute suspend their disbelief and watch someone do something incredible, like doing a ski jump or hiking a crazy high mountain, they might get a chance to see that potentially in themselves, and then they're really involved with the brand. That's what Onus means. If you can take that first step in whatever you're trying to accomplish, you're going to get somewhere. So that's the ethos of the brand.
Yeah, for me, that just reminds me of your live better longer saying of just not only do we have the longevity services that help you live better longer, inspire you to, we also have had that in every, core of your branding where it's literally live better longer, go and do the things that you've always wanted to do and feel your best and live your best days in that sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the onus is on you.
exactly. One. All right, and speaking of your branding and live better longer, like we said, you guys don't look the same as, these other longevity concepts in this space. So can you tell me a bit more about what else makes you different?
Yeah. From the very start of when you walk into our store, you'll notice that there is no receptionist. Kind of cracked the code on how to make this software run as seamlessly as possible. And so in that regard, you're literally training an employee who is also the ER nurse on how to do everything. And the software itself pretty much walks them through how to do every step of the way. So in that regard, it's a simpler process. We also don't have one of those apps where someone has to create a password and remember their username. No one wants another app on their phone. This is literally one of the easiest places you can get an appointment and come into. So in that regard, we're really thinking about the customer's journey and how easy it is for them to engage with the brand.
No,
Yeah.
that's
And to comment just on a key differentiator from the aesthetic sense of how our space looks. I know we've touched on the color palette, but it's also a very open, inviting lounge. So you can pick a cozy sofa or chair and curl up to Netflix. You're not going to be put in an exam room or feel like that you're in an isolated area. It's welcoming.
I am in the private room right now, but yes,
we do
there are
private
rooms if you need it. But
if
when you
need to
see
chill.
the concept, it's open floor.
Yeah. So you can sit and relax and not feel like you're in a doctor's office. That's key. However, on the flip side of that, just to touch on the medical key differentiators, we do pride ourselves. Our third partner is our third co-founder is an ER physician. And so he has created the protocols that we only hire ER nurses with at least 2 years experience. They are going to ensure that you have an amazing person with a lot of knowledge and experience, and they've done 1 million IVs, so it's going to be seamless. Whereas a lot of our competitors will hire nurses from every category. And I think that's a key differentiator for us in maintaining quality and high standards of customer service. And our employee retention has been phenomenal. We have so many of our nurses and managers that have been with us since the very beginning. And
Yeah.
10 years, 8 years, 7 years is pretty normal for how long our nurses have been with us. So there's very low turnover. And I think that speaks to the communication, the quality of the procedures and the training. That's something we hope to pass on to our franchisees as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you tell that to any restaurant franchisee, and they have this long list of people that they need to schedule and swap out and train. Hey, 1 to 2 people, ER nurses, at least 2 years of experience, they're going to stay with you for 5 plus, 10 plus years is music to their ears, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
and speaking on that, Chaz, you talked on how the tech experience is super easy for the customer. Kristy talking on how these ER nurses and overseen by a board certified ER physician, how that makes the service very easy as well. With it, can you tell me, just as someone just walking through your doors, what does that customer experience look like for them, and how is that different maybe from competitors?
So the minute you walk in, obviously you're going to be seen by an ER nurse. The space is tranquil. It's cool. You'll be able to see, plenty of spaces for you to hang out. It's not like there's just a bunch of rooms and you're going to get locked into one of those and that's where you're going to get your treatment. This is something people actively engage with each other while they're in the space. Once you've decided how you want to relax in the space, the nurse will walk you through what are the different options. If you'd like an IV, or if you're there to talk about BHRT, or maybe you're just there for lab testing. From there, they're going to either, let's say you decide to get an IV. Well, then they would go ahead and help you either pick out one, or if you already know what you have in mind, then they'll go in the process of getting that made and taking your vitals every single time. They'll make your bag, administer your bag. And while you're there, you make it your own. You can watch Netflix. If you need a private room, you can go in and, watch TV in there or do some business. It really depends on how you want to get an IV. That's one of the main differences. It's the easiest place to do that.
And I would add too that we mix the nurse mixes the bag using aseptic technique in a countertop pharmacy hood, but it's all right there in front of you as the customer. You get to see your bag being made. It's customized to you. It's not coming out of a back room, where you don't know what's been put into
what
it.
they put into it.
There's a lot of transparency there. And I think kind of like, being at Qdoba, you like seeing your food made in front of you, and it's part of the process.
Oh, I love that. I loved having that experience when I visited you guys in Denver at the Lohi location, talking with the nurse, saying how I'm feeling, her saying, okay, you're feeling this way, let's go ahead and, give you a customized experience, seeing everything made in front of me, and then being able to relax was really great and very different from, different places that I've gone to in the past. So I think you guys are doing something really special here, and you're combining this lifestyle branding that's fun, that it's inspiring, that truly connects with people, combining that with your great customer experience and with your longevity services, to where I can just go in and know that I have so many different options to feel my best and to go and grab life by the handlebars, as you guys say. So
It's one of the best places to grab.
So any other anecdotes, any other little details that you'd like to leave us with before we sign off for today?
I think we covered a lot of ground.
I do too.
Yeah, I'll have to save something for the next session. So
we'll dive into even more detail. But
I will say, this is just the beginning of the longevity journey, not just for our customers, us. We are looking at even more things that we can help people extend their lifespan with if they choose to engage with it. So yeah, come along for the journey. We're really just getting started.
Yep. Always looking for the best in wellness to provide our clients.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, and growing to those 500 locations over the next decade. Okay, well, thank you both so much for joining me today, and
Of
I hope you have
course.
a great rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
too.
Casey.
Thank you for your
Have a
time.
great day.
Okay, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.